Greetings everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Acer Nitro VN7-592G and how to replace the screen. So if we turn this guy on, we'll see that the screen is cracked down in this corner and it's spread across the entire screen. So this laptop's about 2 years old at this point. It's an i7-6700HQ and a 960M. So it's a fairly high-end laptop, and I figured for the $60 or so that it would cost to replace the screen, it would be worth it. So the couple of things you're going to need to replace the screen are an X-Acto knife, a Phillips PH1 screwdriver, a spudging tool, and actually this isn't strictly required. You could get away with a thin guitar pick as well, and then a microfiber cloth or something soft to protect the screen when we're putting the new one on, and of course a replacement screen. So this replacement screen came from laptopscreens.com, and I haven't opened it yet, but we're going to do that right now. So just slide this out of the way. And this is all the X-Acto knife's for. Alright, so it's quite well packed. And here's our new screen with a protective covering on the outside. Set the packaging aside. Alright, so a couple of things to note on the screen. The mounting layout for this is correct. It's going to be screwed in with 4 screws on the top and bottom. And then this connector right here looks correct as well. That's a 30-pin connector. So one of the things to make sure is, take the screen off of your old one before you order a new one and make sure that you're ordering the correct thing. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Make sure this is a matte display, which is what we ordered. So that's good. I just don't want this to get caught under the bezel when we put the screen in, so we'll go ahead and take that off. And now we have our new panel. So we'll set that aside and turn this laptop off and start taking the bezel off. Alright, so to take the bezel off is actually very straightforward. You're just going to want to take this pry tool and start on one of the corners, and it shouldn't be that hard to get under there and start popping this off. So you can see you can get it under fairly easily, and you just very gently pry forward, it'll start to pop off. One thing to note, this laptop, again, it has been treated a little bit roughly over the last 2 years. It doesn't have this piece right here, but it's very similar. Just start at the top, and then the little gray pieces down here will pop out with it. And be very careful, because these are plastic clips. You don't want to break them. Sometimes you got to get under a little bit more. Alright. Like that. On the bottom here, just going to do the same thing. Alright, and now this will come off, and we can set that aside. Alright, so now you can see we have 4 screws right here that need to come out. So we take the PH1 screwdriver, at this point, something like a magnetics parts tray would be useful as well, but it's not strictly required since there's only 4 screws. One thing that's nice about this particular design is that you don't actually have to take the body of the laptop apart. All you have to do is pop the bezel off to replace the screen. So now that we have those 4 screws out, you're going to want to start to take the panel out, but be careful because we want to take the connector off before we completely pull the panel out. So let's start right here. Gently pop that. Alright, it comes out on all 4 sides. See, there was a previous repair down here on this edge. Alright. Flip that down, and now here we can see our 30-pin connector. So you're going to want to take this tape and peel it up, and this connector should come out fairly easily. There aren't any clips or anything, you can just pull that connector right out. So here's our old panel. And we'll go ahead and lay our towel along here to prevent the new panel from getting damaged. Some fuzzes on here, take those on. Alright, so if we compare new and old panels, this is our new guy and this is our old one, so they're near as makes no difference, identical. So it should be fine. We'll take this right here and just slide this clip back in. Making sure to be careful not to bend the bottom of the monitor. Sometimes getting a fingernail in there is helpful too. Alright, that's that guy in. So now before I screw this back in, I do want to make sure that the panel works. We are going to clip it back into its hole. Alright, now we can see if the panel works. Alright, and there we go. Alright, so now we're booted into Windows and everything looks okay on this display. Nothing glaring that would indicate that there's anything wrong with the panel. So now we can put these 4 screws back in and then we'll be ready to button up the bezel. These screws don't have to be incredibly tight, but you do want them to be snug. Make sure they hold the panel steady. Alright, our panel is now back in and screwed down, so we can take our bezel and do exactly what we did to take it off in the reverse order. So get it aligned on the bottom and snap it in. And just be careful, don't press too hard on the edges because you do have a display edge under there. When you get to the bottom, you can just kind of put some force in the back. And there we have it. Replace the display on an Acer Nitro VN7-592G. So I hope this helps you guys.